Hello, class. Today's objective is to learn about percent bars. And we're going to use these percent bars to solve percent problems. Before we do that, I want to kind of give a little reminder lesson about fractions and even proportions. All right, the first thing to remember is that fractions and percents, they kind of go hand in hand, okay? So if we think about like this bar right here, okay? This is one whole. So if I shade half of it, okay? I know that half of it is shaded, right? Well, what is 1/2 as a decimal? 1/2 of a decimal is, well, let's think about as a dollar. Half of a dollar is 50 cents. So 1/2 is the same as 50 cents, 0.50. And remember that a whole is 100%. So half of 100% is 50%. So when I represent half on a bar like this, I'm also representing 50%. Okay? Also, if, for example, I'm only representing 1/4 of a dollar, it's like a quarter, because 4 quarters make a dollar. So 1/4 is the same as 25 cents. Which is the same thing as 25%. The other thing we need to remember is that we had something called proportions. It was like 2 equal fractions. And we could use the relationship between 1 to find the missing piece right here. So 9 times what gives me 27? 9 times what gives me 27? 9 times 3 gives me 27. So 9 times 3 gives me 27. So if I did 3 times 3, 3 times 3 is 9. And that would give me my answer. You may also remember that we did this with percents in 6th grade. Remember we did part over whole equals percent over 100. Okay? So if I had 15/20ths, and I wanted to know what percent that was, I could look and say, well, 20 times, let's think, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20 times 5 gives me 100. So 15 times 5, well, 15 times 5 is 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 2 is 7, 75. So 75 would be my answer to my problem. Now that we've done this kind of little reminder, let's look at that first problem on the packet that you have with the percent bars. And this basically has a bunch of different ways we can solve a problem. Okay? We can model it, which is what we're really going to talk about today. We can even do some estimation to make sure we're right. We can look at the proportion, okay? And we can even remember part over whole equals percent over 100. And then we have a box for our solution. And then, of course, in the middle is our word problem. Now, this word problem, I think right off the bat, it starts out kind of hard. So it says, Stephanie received a 14% discount on her purchase of $12. How much was the amount of discount? Well, I don't like that 14%. So we're going to cross it out. So everyone cross it out right now and write 20%. We're going to do a 20% discount. That's much more realistic. A lot of times we do see 20% off in a store. We have a 20% off coupon. And it wants to know how much was the discount. Okay? All right, so let's start with estimation. Okay? So thinking about 20%. 20%. Well, 20% is about what? Well, it's kind of close to 25%, right? Which is 1/4. Okay? So if I was going to think about 1/4 of 12, if I was going to divide 12 by 4, so 12 divided by 4, well, that's 3. So I think my estimate is the discount's going to be about $3. And the reason I came up with that was 20% is close to 25%, and 25% is 1/4. Okay? So if I took 12 and I broke it into 4 pieces, each piece would be worth $3. So that's how I came up with that discount's going to be approximately $3. So that's my estimate. Not my answer, just my estimate. So when I get an answer, I'll be able to tell, is my answer reasonable? All right, so now let's kind of look at this percent bar. All right, so I have 0% and 100%. Well, 0% is 0. I'm going to write that right there. 100% is that purchase of $12. So 100% is $12. Okay? And then I always start with what I know. Okay? I know that, I'm going to start here. This is roughly 50%. That's half. So what's half of 6? If I cut 6, I just gave you the answer, right? I meant what is half of 12? I just said it's 6. Okay? All right. So that's pretty easy. All right. Well, I can even cut that in half again. So half of 50% is 25%. So half of 6 is 3. All right. So there's 25%. But I want 20%. Well, now let's think about, let's come down here. Here's what I want. I want 20%. I'm going to actually change it and make it this nice, pretty purple color. I'm going to shade it. So I want 20%. This is what I want. Okay? This is what I want. All right. Let's think about this. I know 25% is $3, and I know 20% is a little bit less than that, so it's going to be less than $3. Well, what if we did 10%? Okay, 10%. It's 10% right here. Okay, well, I would do, see, 10% is 100 divided by 10, so I could do 12 divided by 10, and I'm going to actually come over here and do it. 12 divided by 10. That'll give me 10%. And there's my $12. All right, 10 goes into 12 one time. 1 times 10 is 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. Bring down a 0. 10 goes into 20 2 times. 20 minus 20 is 0. Nope, I forgot to write my 2. Okay, bring down my next 0. 10 goes into 0. 0 times 0 times 0 is 0. All right. And then I have to remember that my decimal has to walk up and be right on top of wherever it's in the house. It has to be on top. So 10% is $1.20. Okay? 10% of the $12 is $1.20. So I know what 10% is. So what is 20%? Well, if I think about it, 10% times 2 gives me 20%, right? So I could do 120 times 2, and that would give me my answer. Okay? So 120 times 2, 0 times 2 is 0, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2. There's 2 numbers behind the decimal in my 120, so 2 numbers behind the decimal, so my answer is $2.40. Okay? And that makes sense because it's close to my estimate of $3. Right? So this is kind of how we use the percent bar. Is we start with, we know what 100% is, and we know what our amount is, and then we can start thinking about what we know. Well, I can easily find 50%, I can find 25%, and we kind of use those relationships that we can see to help us solve the problem. The other way I could do it is I could write the proportion. Remember, part of a whole is percent over 100. Okay, I know 20% over 100. And then we can use X because we didn't know the discount over 12. And actually I need to write that in a different spot. So I'm going to erase it. All right. So like I said, so X over 12, that discount over whole 12, which was our whole price, is equal to 20 over 100. All right. Well, I can't go really from 12 to 100, not evenly, can I? So I could simplify this, right? I could simplify that, and I would get 20 goes into 100 5 times, so I get 1/5. But I still really can't go between 12 and 5 that easily. All right, but let's go ahead and simplify it. X over 12 equals 1/5. Okay, and the way I got that was I divided both the top and the bottom by 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1. 20 divided by 20 is 1. 100 divided by 20 is 5. So now I have X over 12 equals 1/5. All right. So here's something we didn't teach you in 6th grade. Because in 6th grade, all your proportions, they worked together. There was very easy to see the whole number relationships. But if you get to a problem where you can't see that, there is another little trick you can do. Okay? You can basically cross multiply and say that they're equal, and that will help you solve for X. So on one side, I'll have 5 times X, so I have 5X, 5 times X equals, and on the other side I have 12 times 1, which is 12, okay? So all I did was multiply, I cross multiplied. So 5 times something gives me 12. And we know how to solve this. I can divide each side by 5. This becomes a coefficient of 1. I get X. And now 12 divided by 5. So 5 goes into $12. How many times? 5 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. Bring down my 0 is 20. 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. Bring down my last 0. 5 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 5 is 0. 0 minus 0 is still 0. Walk my decimal point up, and I get 2.40, $2.40, just like I got on my percent bars. So either way works, either really using the model with the percent bars or using my proportion, whatever works for you. But today we're going to really focus on kind of using both to help solve our problems and to make sure we're getting the right answer. But again, like I said, you're able to use both. If the proportion, you like that, you like numbers, you can definitely use that one. If you like the models because you work better with pictures, you can use that one too. All right, this is the first problem. Let's go on to the second.